there's just so much going on. So many different pivot points and things to cover and get to. I just don't even know where to start. How do we compress to fit it into a cohesive video here? So there's a couple changes with the video. First and foremost, you can expect the comments, the account lookups, the roasts, that sort of thing at the very end of the video. There was a very nice gentleman out there in the YouTube universe who made that suggestion, and you know what? I said, son, I like that. I'm gonna take you up on that, and I'm gonna rock with it. We're gonna see how that works. So, the thumbnail might not have given complete clarity to what this video is going to entail. So, okay, first and foremost, okay, so my meta list, my meta tier list with Sentry at the top and Knull at number 7, it kind of ruffled some feathers out there. So we're gonna clarify some things, because it seems as though that there's a lot of people out there that are just playing Sentry wrong. They're playing them wrong, and it's creating a greater divide between Sentry and Knull. So there's that, and there's also the point to make that if, depending on how much Pierce you have on cards, this could either be making Sentry better, more valuable, or making Knull less valuable, because we established that having just going from 0% Pierce to 2% Pierce, or 0 to 5% Pierce is a much greater increase, and is giving you much more value than going from, say, 16 to 19, or 16 to, say, 21. I don't even know if you can get to 21, but in any case, so I think we established that, right? The initial amount of Pierce that you get is giving you much more value than down the road, just because of the actual percentage increase that you're getting. So if you have no Pierce on cards, because Knull, here, let's go to Knull's kit here, and on his skill, on his passive, he has an additional Pierce, 5% Pierce damage. Okay, so he has this, built into his kit. So I don't pretend to be the purveyor of all information, have all the answers. All I could do is the bit of testing on my channel and share with all you guys what I know with things that I discover in the game, and then the feedback that I get from everybody out there, and then to just play with it a little bit, and then spit back to you what exactly what I find. But so there was somebody left a comment. I'm not gonna air anybody out or anything like that, but somebody left a comment, and they were rather upset that I have not only that I have Sentry at number 1, but when then I look up people's accounts and I'm telling them not to build Knull and to focus on Sentry first, that I'm doing the players a disservice, because Knull is gonna bring more value than Sentry. Now, all this is my opinion, right? But he shared with me, because he shared with me a video of him playing Sentry and playing Knull, and I watched it for about 30 seconds and I shut it off after 30 seconds because the gameplay with Sentry, he wasn't doing the right rotation. I'm not gonna say it was bad gameplay, but he wasn't doing the right rotation. He was doing the tier 3 on every 3rd rotation. So I don't know if this is something that's prevalent out there, but you're losing a lot of value. You're losing a lot of damage. You're not playing him at his optimal speed, and just you're just not using him in an optimal way. That's like using any character in a way that it's just not the best way to use them. So of course, if you're using Knull the best way, and then you're using Sentry not the best way, that divide and that gap is it's going to be greater. So in this video, I'm going to show everybody the correct way to play Sentry, and then I'm also going to show you the difference on my account between doing a run with Sentry and then doing a run with Knull. And you're gonna see exactly what the difference is, and just to say, like, okay, the reason why I suggest to build Sentry over Knull is because and I suppose even for like a newer player, and I've spoken to different players that actually have that have no pierce on cards, and they say that Sentry, they're able to clear Knull with Sentry. They're able to clear World Boss Legend with Sentry, and they're able to do it rather easily. And you know, I know they're doing the rotation that I'm going to show you in this video. But then from some other people out in the comments, they're telling me that they can't clear World Boss Legend with Sentry, and I'm going to attribute that to they're just not doing the right rotation, or they don't have the optimal stats on Sentry. I don't know, maybe you don't have cooldown capped off, you don't have ignore defense, or just something like that. Because back to my point, why I'm suggesting Sentry is because it's from people that I spoke to, people free to play accounts or very low spenders, they're telling me it's an easy no clear for them, and with this PvE build, they're able to win all their timeline matches, right? So they can get the crystals from timeline. They don't have to worry about that. It's just he's just bringing more value as a balance in a general vicinity. And as far as my tier list goes, Sentry is okay. So the list is a general scope, trying to encompass players from the free to plays to the whales, right? People that don't participate in Alliance tournament, and people that do. And Sentry, he is the character that you need on your Alliance tournament team in order to win. Like, you just do. If you don't have him, you're not going to win. He's that meta. And he's on every, let's go to timeline right now. Let's go to timeline, because the game isn't all about World Boss Legend, right? Yeah, I did mention that the best rewards are in PvE, but the most crystals that you can actually farm, especially for a free to play, right, are going to be in timeline. So you want to win as many matches as you possibly can. Now, okay, let's look at these teams. See, Sentry. I did not want to go there. I didn't see one Knull, but I saw all Sentries. You might see a Knull. Okay, there's one Knull. Sentry. Let's just scroll down a little bit more. Sentry. I don't know. Again, there's another Knull in there. But you see what I mean. You don't see Knull by himself. You see a Sentry on every single team. You see a Knull sprinkled in there here and there, but it's always Sentry. It's always Sentry. So he's the top dog in PvP, right? You get those crystals. You can get them easily if you have Sentry. And, I don't know what other players are doing wrong, why you can't clear Knull with Sentry when I'm talking to free-to-play players that have no pierce on cards, and they're able to clear Knull. And they say they do it rather easily. So I'm guessing that's attributed to either you don't have optimal stats, or you're just not doing the right rotation. Okay? So, and yes, I'll agree, Knull is probably an easier clear for World Boss Legend. He's probably a little bit faster. Like on my account, he's just a little bit faster. He's not that much faster, but he's a little bit faster. And the other point that I was making, for me anyways, I don't use Knull. I don't use him in World Boss Legend. The only place I really use him is GBR and Danger Room Extreme, but I have so many other characters that I can do that with. And I thought he was going to be meta for ABX. So far, he's not. So far, he's not meta. Oh man, I got bumped down to 13. Yikes! We'll have to change. I'm not far off though. Wow, so close. Anyways, so maybe moving into these other seasons, maybe when I put a rage back on him, because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try him out with rage. I'm gonna test him against Loki, and if he can't beat Loki, I'm putting a PvP build on him. And so that's how valuable he will be for me for PvE. If I put a PvP build on him on an account that's basically purely PvE. I'm starting to enjoy some Alliance Conquest a little bit, here and there. But yeah, so you go to World Boss. Once you get, okay, so it might be a while. So the other point that I made is you can't use them past 14. The next time you could use them is 35. And once you get to that point, it's Moonstone time. You're not going to use Knull when you could use Moonstone. Moonstone just blows them out of the water. I did a video not too long ago. It was soon after Knull got released, and I made it to 35. So it was probably a couple weeks ago. And Moonstone was just just that much faster. I tried using them both on the same team, and that's when I first did 35. I tried using them both on the same team, and I said, you know, let me just try Moonstone by herself, and it was so much easier to do. I mean, we all know, you know, she's top dog in PvE. So what am I doing here? So, okay, so 14, you can't use them again until 35, but it's Moonstone time then. If you couldn't use Moonstone, then yeah, sure, I'd probably try to make it work with them, but I'm not going to give myself a headache if I don't have to. And right now, on the lowest stage I'm clearing, like I've been doing just like 22 to 24, and I do that 3 times, and then I do 29, and then I do 39. And I do 39 with Moonstone. I do 29 with Sharon Rogers. Now, I could do like 35 with her, but just, you know, I don't want to spend all day playing World Boss Legends. So on 29, I could use all female. And guess what? I could use Valkyrie for support in Scarlet Witch. Although, you know, if I did like 35, I could use Star-Lord lead. But I've been using Star-Lord lead with Cable and Gambit. That seems to work out pretty well for me. And also, I'm going to test Knull against... So, in one of the next videos, I'm going to do another, you know, Friday Fight Night where we knuckle up and we test, like, some of the like, all the metas. Like, just all the strongest characters for Knull. That's what I'm going to be doing. And we're going to see exactly how he stacks up against other characters. And I'm going to test him against Cable and see who's faster, because I honestly don't know. But Cable is really good. He's really good for Knull. And Knull might not be faster than Cable. And we're going to find out. But today, you know, we're comparing Sentry and Knull, because that's where the controversy is. And I have a couple comments that I'm actually going to pull up at the end that's going to, you know, shed a little bit more light on why I'm actually doing this. But I just want to clear this up. I want to make sure everybody's using Sentry correctly, because I'm hearing that there's this rotation out there that's floating around that's just... It's not, you're not using them to his maximum capacity, and that's what we like to do on this, you know, this channel. We like to push these characters to their max level, and you know, we do some myth busting, and we just test theories, and we do stuff like that. So why you would use them any other way, I don't know. But I actually did this to save some time. I actually pre-recorded a run using Sentry and a run using Knull, and I'd say they're both really good runs. And you're going to see the rotation that I'm using for Sentry, and you're going to see the difference in the time in the clear. So here, let me get this here. Okay, so this is actually stage 14, okay? You already know what time it is, man. It's time for the sneaky bandit to pop up in here and do his thing, baby. Alright, so what I didn't do is I didn't show Knull's build and Sentry's build, and I just want to clarify this, and I'm going to show my card stuff as well. So they both have basically the same exact build. 20 Odin's Blessings. They have, let's see, stage 12, Power of Angry, or this guy has Hawk's Eye. It doesn't really matter because all the stats are capped anyways, well, except crit rate, but he has an energy, and he gets a buff on his 5th, right? And the way I play him is I actually get that buff, but he's just, I mean, he's just about capped. Yeah, kind of close. But in any case, he has a Forge energy. He's got a Mighty energy with the All Attack. The All Attack actually works better for him. I tested with both. And then Sentry, this guy, 20 Odin's Blessings. He's got stage 12 Power of Angry Hulk, and then he's got a Mighty energy, and he's got it with Beatdown because the Beatdown works better for him, and I tested it with both. And then as far as my cards go, I have 22% Pierce, and my card set does favor you know, energy attack, you know, a little bit more, but it's not that much off. Actually, I got to get onto some more rolls. We're in a better place to do that. Actually, I just have to get more crystals. That was the reason why I had to stop before, but there it is. There's my build. There's my cards. Just to break it all down for you guys, give you guys a clear perspective for those who are new to the channel who just don't know what's going on. Back to your programming. Here, let me pull this up. So it's actually stage 14, and the reason why it's 14 is because that's the highest stage I could use both of these characters on. And yeah, like I said, you can use Sentry. Now I know for players that are just getting to Knull, maybe they're on stage 1. It's going to be a while before you're even thinking about, you know, even getting past stage 10, right? Because, you know, if you got to pay the crystals, you know, for the 100-second clear and 150-second clear. But thing is, for the long term, like, what do you go, like when you get past 14, because you will at some point, You know, you're not going to be able to use them until 35, and then at 35 you're going to use Moonstone, or depending on when that is, there might even be another character that's better because it's super villain. So it's a broad group. So anyways, here, all right, let's just play this. We're already 13 minutes into this video here. All right, so you'll see the rotation that I'm using. Okay, so. And by the way, here I'll show you the builds after, but they're exactly the same on both of these characters. Sentry has Pierce, so you do 2, 5, 4, and then you do 3. And it's important you do the 3 because when that comes off cooldown, you can do the tier 3. And like, look how much damage that is. Most of his damage comes on that tier 3. It's on that tier 3. You want that up as soon as possible. And by the way, I was not going to use the co-op skill. I wasn't going to try to, like, avoid that in any funky way, avoid the goo in any funky way. I know you can avoid it with the co-op, and even the proc even came late there, but we still got it. So it's about 420. 420 is Sentry's time. All right, now let's pull up Knull's time here. All right, let's get rid of that. Let's pull this guy's run up. Where are you? Here we go. All right, so let's get this rocking and rolling here, and you'll see. So I thought this was actually a pretty good run. I feel like there's a lot of variables when it actually comes to Knull. Like, one run could be really good, really fast, and then the next can be, because I ran this quite a few times trying to get, like, the best run with this guy. And by the way, if you didn't see my last video, so the buff, you could see it right there. It's the one icon, but if you, okay, so I actually thought, because people said this, like, you can't get the buff and proc on 2 if you have an energy. You can't get the buff on 5 and proc on 2 with energy. That's false. Once he spikes his sword into the ground, it doesn't activate the proc. I mean, every time I've done this, I have not activated the proc on it, and then you just cancel right into 2. So you still get that buff, get that nice juicy buff on 5, and cancel into the 2, by the way. So, yeah, I mean, look at it. He's doing excellent damage just on his normal rotation. He gets a little kind of funky to play, so I actually did avoid with the co-op with Knull, so I don't know. He's got a slight advantage, but if your proc actually doesn't activate, it could work out in your favor. Like on that tier 3, and I was able to proc on the 2, you get a lot of damage there. You get a lot of damage, and it just so happened to work out that way. I think it doesn't usually work out that way. I feel like most of the time the proc would activate, like, at that point, but sure enough, it didn't. So I feel like Knull's clear time here is probably even a little bit faster than usual, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and we'll say that he's 4 or 5 seconds faster than Sentry on this stage here, which does stack up as you go up to higher stages, but it's not that much faster. They're not leagues apart, right? And to be honest, once you get to more difficult stages, I swap every single character. I swap except Moonstone and Sharon Rogers, just because they're strong enough where you don't want to swap, because there's nobody that's really gonna help you out. There's nobody's damage that's like kind of, you know, close to theirs really, except each other. But, you know, I wouldn't use them on the same stage. I would use them on different stages. They're strong enough to where they can get it done separately. But I do the swap method with basically every one of my clears, like I said, except those 2. Although I do a little bit of swapping with Sharon Rogers, and I do use Valkyrie for some damage, like here and there, but she's not the main source of damage. So in any case, I wanted to show you guys that. So that's the rotation. Actually, one other thing I do want to show you. Okay, so we clocked Sentry's time at 4:20, right? And I'm going to, with this other rotation that I saw, I'm going to show you what the difference is when I run with this rotation here. So let's check that out. All right, here we go. I'm gonna run that same exact team, same exact strikers, and I'm gonna run with this other rotation. And I'm gonna try to get like a comparable kind of run. I might have to do this a couple times, but we'll see. Gotta wait for that purple there. So the run, it's basically just, it's 2-5-4. It's then 2-5-4. 2-5-4. And I'm going to try to avoid this. I'll just go back here. I'm not going to hit the co-op because I don't want to reactivate that proc. And then it's 254 tier 3. We didn't prematurely activate the proc. And so we're going to go back here again. So I feel like this is actually going pretty well for us here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, they're not even hitting the 3 or the 1. So yeah, it's just 254, 254, and then 254. Gotta wait for that. That's 254 tier 3. Okay, so as you can see, just on stage 14, like I said, you know, it's gonna stack up as you go. We're 17 seconds slower on, you know, just using that other rotation. Okay, just by adding the 3 into the rotation and then doing the tier 3, you know, you're getting much more value, and you're doing yourself a disservice if you use any other rotation. Now, I know it could be a little tricky. It could be a little bit tricky to play them. Sometimes, you know, you know, the proc doesn't cooperate and this and that, but that's with any character, right? That's with any character, especially when you're trying to optimize their rotation and their skills. Now, the question is, like, if... Okay, I do not want to finish that just because I haven't done any of my world boss clears today. If you don't have Pierce on your cards, is that going to make Knull better or Sentry, or Knull worse or Sentry better? Some people say that that's the case, and other people that I've spoken to say that, you know, that's just it's not the case. Knull's good. I'll say for World Boss Legend, just solely, Knull seems to be a little bit better. I agree. But, you know, the game isn't all just World Boss Legend. I know a lot of my coverage is you know, a lot of my content is basically like World Boss Legend, just because, you know, it seems to be the hot topic. It's the most challenging game mode in the game. But that's not all it is. There's other game modes that I play. Like, to be honest, like, there's a lot of times, there's a lot of days where, like, I just want to get through World Boss Legend. I don't even want to be bothered with it. And there's other days where, you know, I actually enjoy playing it. But, you know, I also enjoy, like, you know, not necessarily timeline, but like I said, AC's been kind of fun lately. You know, the camaraderie with the rest of my alliance, and somebody made me an offer to actually pop over to their alliance for like a week or two and play AC, and you know, get my bearings with that, and learn how to play AC. This way, you know, I could bring you guys some content on that if you guys want to see that. So maybe I will, but, you know, Sentry, like, he's a powerhouse there. Like I said, for AT, you know, he's going to win your matches in timeline for you. And Knull, like, you know, maybe he does have some PvP value that I'm just not aware of, but, you know, I'm guessing if his PvP value was that great, that you'd see him on way more, you know, timeline teams. And I'm almost kind of hoping that he's not meta for ABX. So this way I can put a PvP build on him without really feeling bad. You know, I'll throw a regen on this guy. I'll leave his build as is. I'll probably throw some heal Odin's Blessings on him, because I have 15 of those things. So I'll probably throw some of those on him, and, you know, I'll throw a regen on him and see how he does. And you know, I'm guessing some people, you know, probably want to see that. I mean, I do bring him in. I brought him in the timeline, and he's won. He's beat Sentries. He's beat Jean Greys. But it's not consistent. You know, his passive will kick in, and he'll just, you can't kill him, so he kills you because he's strong. He's strong like that, and, you know, that's just the way it is. But, you know, as far as a consistent basis, he's not super consistent. So, you know, you need consistency. So that's that. I wanted to show you guys, you know, that. So yeah, keep in mind that rotation. It's, you know what? Here, I'll go in here just to you know, bring it home, and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing, and try to paint it out for you. I feel like I should have did this a little bit earlier. Okay, so it's just 254, and you can kind of cancel. You kind of cancel like 2-5. You like almost a delayed second into 4, and then the 3. And then the 3, I never even touch the 1, and then all I do is I wait for the 3 to basically about to come off cooldown. I hit 2, 5, 4, 3. Actually, so the next part of the rotation, I feel like it doesn't even matter which order you hit the skills in, as long as you hit them all. 2, 3. I usually do 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes I'll do 3, 2, 4, 5. I feel like it's easier to cancel into the tier 3 after hitting the 5 instead of hitting the 4. That's just from my experience. But for a while, I was doing 2, 3, 5, 4 into the tier 3. But that's it. I mean, you know, look at all the damage there. So that's the rotation. It's easy as that. It's really not that hard, especially when you get used to it. So I hope that I hope that clarifies some things. I hope that, you know, shed some light on the situation, and, you know, we can all move forward. You know, people, you know, knowing how to play Sentry better, so they, you know, don't feel like it's a wasted, waste of, you know, resources. Like, I wouldn't tell people to build up Sentry as like one of their main focuses if I didn't think he had value. And like I said, the controversy, people are saying, well, if they don't have Pierce on cards, then he is not going to be as good. And the argument is, building Knull is that Knull is going to get you an easy clear for World Boss Legend, and then this way you can farm CCF faster to then build up Sentry. And then my rebuttal to that was, well, there's a lot cheaper characters that like Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider is excellent for Knull, World Boss Legend, or Sharon Rogers, or Moonstone if you can afford the Epic Quest pack. I mean, I strongly suggest getting that. Like, if you're going to get anything in the game, get that. So, like, those 3 characters right there. I mean, Moon Knight, Beta Ray Bill, you know, teaming up those characters and doing some swapping and stuff, you know, with some supports or a lead. Or like I said, Ghost Rider. And then Ghost Rider is going to get you value in ABX as well. I mean, he's one of the highest scorers. Like, Cable can score the highest, but on my account, Ghost Rider on no restriction day, he was actually like 200,000 points under Cable. So I was scoring like 10.3 million, you know, plus, and then Ghost Rider was like 1.1, you know, somewhere in that area. So he's very, very strong. He's very, very strong, and he just has crazy raw damage. So, you know, my suggestion, you know, if you're like a brand new player and you don't have either Sentry or Knull, and both of them are kind of out of your reach, I wouldn't suggest building either one of them, you know, first. I would suggest building like Ghost Rider or Moon Knight or Sharon Rogers first, you know, one of the less expensive tunes, or even like Beta Ray Bill if, you know, you can finish the Epic Quest, and then, you know, start clearing all with them. And then I do still suggest Sentry first, because he's going to be your PvP guy, and with a PvE build, he's going to be able to clear Knull for you. If anybody else, okay, let me say this, anybody else out there, after using that rotation with Sentry, if you have an energy on him, it's like you kind of need an energy on him. If you're still having like a lot of trouble clearing Knull, World Boss Legend, let me know, and we'll investigate this even a little bit further. Because I definitely don't want to be giving people, you know, the wrong information. I don't want to tell people to build a character that's not going to be as strong as I think they're going to be. So yeah, and that's what it's all about. It's all about, you know, helping players build their accounts in you know, a much better way, a way that's going to actually benefit them and not have them run around, because, you know, some of these characters are expensive and it takes time. It takes a lot of time and resources when you could, you know, you want to put them in the right place. So that's the goal there. So if anybody has any information on that, let me know. That's basically it for the video. That's it for the gameplay. We're gonna jump into the comments. We're not exactly sure what happened, but things started lagging out, and I had to shut it down. So I was saying that. That's it for the gameplay. We're jumping into the comments now. We're jumping into the, I got a couple, you know, account lookups. That's what we're going to be doing. One of the code words, I think the Sneaky Bandit's going to have to jump in and do one of the first code word. But the next code word is butter. Like, I like me some butter balls. Yeah. Whatever those are. I know they're the thing. All right, so first off, what do we got? Okay, so this guy, KH, says, congrats on your 3K subs, Zilla. I'm curious, what's the highest World Boss Legend stage you have cleared with Sentry? So the highest stage, I mean, okay, so my strategy, like I was just saying earlier, other than Moonstone and Sharon Rogers, those are basically solos for me because they're just that strong. I use Sentry with swapping in and out. I usually use him with, I've been using him with, so it's like Sentry, Odin, and Ghost Rider, and they can clear 24, which is the highest stage I could use Sentry on right now. They clear rather easily, but actually what I've been doing, because I think I might swap Sentry to a PvP build. I think I'm going to swap him to a PvP build, and I've been using Doctor Strange lead, Ghost Rider, and Odin, and that seems to be working. It's not working as good because Sentry, he's strong for Knull, but it's definitely working for me. And by the way, Doctor Strange, so my Ghost Rider died like almost like towards the end of the match, and I'm like, oh man, I was about to restart it, but then I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try this because I need Ghost Rider for the end, for the 7 to 0 bar phase, and Doctor Strange was able to clear that for me. Stage 24. Just he did the whole entire 7 to 0 bars because you can attack before Thor comes. You can attack. You just need this tier 3 charge. You hit that, and you can start spamming this rotation, and then just continue attacking all the way through. So all right, I'm gonna. So you commented not on the last video, the video before, but you did comment just recently, and you do have the code word. So I'm gonna pull your account up, man. Let's jump into this. Go. We're at Ox Dragon's account here. Okay, we're looking at his cards. So it looks like this guy, he's been playing for a little while, I believe. So not this past anniversary, the anniversary before, he got this card here. So it looks like he's been playing for a little while. He's got one premium card here. He didn't really tell me too much about his account at all, so I'm just kind of going off what I see here. Okay, let's take a look at his stats. Okay, so his stats all look pretty good for having just like one premium card here, right? He's got a good amount of max HP, as a matter of fact. And I mean, all attack, it's decent. It's actually not bad. But don't you dare start crafting this card until you at least get the all attack on it. You could have all attack, I believe, on the very last stat where the energy defense is. So I would definitely do that before you start crafting that. But I don't know. Wait till you get more premium cards, and you might have to craft behind the scenes and then add it to the set just to not throw off, like your ignore defense and skill cooldown. But I mean, other than that, it's looking decent. It's looking decent. Okay, let's look at your characters. We got on this guy, you have crit damage, dodge. Okay, at least, and then you have Odin's blessings on him. All right, so I don't know what. So it looks like you're basically free to play. That's what I'm gonna guess. I'm guessing you're basically free to play. And I would get the HP Odin's blessing off of him if you're gonna be using like Sentry for PvP, or what do you got? You got a Rage on Silver Surfer. Okay, and you got Rage on him. I mean, definitely get an or CTP on this guy, either energy or regen, depending on where you want him to perform better, or if you kind of want like I feel like energy is kind of like almost even like a greed for Sentry, just because he can perform very well in PvE with it, and he can still get you your wins in timeline, right? But yeah, I'd get those Odin blessings off Jean Grey if you can, maybe the next 50% off an equip event, or just don't equip any more on her. And Deadpool as well. Like Deadpool is just not great. Like I don't know. Do you still need Deadpool for world boss ultimate clears? Because moving forward, once you get some Pierce on your cards, that's going to become much easier. And what do you got on her? Okay, get something better on her. Yeah, for Christ's sakes, get something better on Sharon Rogers. You're losing a lot of value by not having anything good on her. I mean, even put a Rage on her. Like, I even take his Rage and put it on her. I mean, it seems like you like PvP, but yet you have a Rage on Silver Surfer, and you have, like, the Heal Odin's Blessings on him. Don't do that. Do not do that. That's not doing you any good. Put the Heal Odin's Blessings on a pure PvP character, and you have energy on him. Okay, so if anything, put this energy on Sharon Rogers, and then you could even put a Rage or a Judgment on Thor, and yeah, don't put HP Uru on a character that you have an energy on. It's not good. I mean, I've seen some people do that with Sharon Rogers, but she's like the only exception because she has that accumulation from damage received, right? That's going to be it. And that, I mean, if you have an energy for that guy, or just get him a higher proc, I would totally do that. You have destruction on Medusa. Okay, with some Odin's blessings. I mean, okay, energy on him. I like that a lot, but definitely roll that with the 200 proc for sure. Now Cyclops, you know, he's really good for Knull because he's good support and leadership. So, you know, I don't know if you're playing Knull yet, or I forget what the comments say here. Let's see. Did this say anything about? It didn't say whether you're playing Knull or not. I mean, Black Bolt, he's actually not that bad for Knull in my opinion. But finish Ghost Rider. I don't know. I'd take Professor X's Rage if you don't have any spare ones sitting in inventory, and give that to Ghost Rider. He's going to do some serious work for you, 100%. And, you know, fix your Odin's Blessing situation. Don't give any more. Okay, no more HP Odin's Blessings on a character that you do not have a PvP build on. Just don't. And put energies on the right characters, like, okay, Moon Knight. Yes, Cable is good. Yeah, Beta Ray build, you have one on him. Get one on Sharon Rogers, 100%. And you know, if you like, you know, PvE, you know, Sentry, like I said, for me, in my testing, what I showed you, and from the feedback that I've got, he's able to clear Knull rather easily with an energy, and he can also do your timeline and stuff like that. So, and yeah, okay, and we established that Sentry might be that unicorn where you can give him heal Odin's Blessings with a PvE build, and then vice versa, give him attack Odin's Blessings with a PvP build. But outside of that, I would not do that. But I mean, other than that, looks pretty good. Yeah, I would get those off of her as well. You could leave the heal ones on you know, Jean Grey, but that's about it. And then, you know, maybe even shift these to Moon Knight and get an energy on him once you get an extra one. All right, man, I hope that helps you out, brother. All right, next up here. Okay, we want to get rid of that. All right, this guy says, that's the exact team I've been running in Vibranium League for a while. Auto and no Pierce on this team wins 90% of the time. Okay, so the question so this is the last video with Molecule Man. I posed kind of the question in the video, like, I don't know if it's just, you know, my account because I have Pierce on cards and you know, just where my account's at and whatnot, if that's the reason why Molecule Man is just beating out Sentry and just winning. But this guy's saying that he doesn't have any Pierce and that team wins 90% of the time. So I'm guessing it's not just attributed to that. So that is good to know. That is good to know. Okay, this gentleman says, Yala says, boy, what is this, man? You've gone too far with this one. LMAO, an hour is just a live stream. Need Silver Surfer help in a CTB selection. Yeah, I said, okay, yeah, this video was over an hour. It was like an hour and 10 minutes. And that's the thing, like, I used to try to make them shorter, cut stuff out of it. I'm just letting it rock. However long the video ends up being, that's how long it's going to be, and that's how I'm going to throw it up. And CTP for Silver Surfer is going to either be regen or rage, or, you know, regen for PvP and rage for PvE. That seems to be the best selection for that guy. All right, Can Darp says, can you please tell me how I can score an ABX? You tell me my Silver Surfer rotation. Okay, so I ran Silver Surfer in ABX. It's been a long time. This was like when he got a Silver Surfer black uniform, so it's been a long time. I honestly don't remember it, but I guarantee you that there's some people out here watching that can help you out with this. So if anybody watching, if you know Silver Surfer's ABX rotation, post it in the comments for this guy. And if he doesn't see it, I'll bring it up in like one of the next videos and shout you out for it. So I appreciate that. All right, next up. Okay, so this is the guy who you know, one of the people had a little bit of trouble with me putting Sentry at the top and then Knull at 7. He says, bro, please at least mention that Sentry is better if you have a bunch of Pierce on your cards. If you don't, Knull is way better than Sentry. Him and Moonstone are the easiest clear for Knull, because this is misinforming people. Probably somebody watches your video, goes for Sentry, and then he's struggling to clear Knull. Phase 1, see how different your list is for Cynic Alex. Okay, so I haven't seen Cynic Alex's list, but the list wasn't a list for Knull. I made a list for Knull. I'll probably make another one. I'm gonna do the Friday fight night, you know, where the Toons, they knuckle up and they go at it, and we're gonna see who is the best. And everybody, you gotta keep in mind, like, how much Pierce I have on my I have 22% Pierce now. So, you know, everybody, you know, you got to kind of think for yourself, right? You got to be able to read between the lines and engage things just based on stuff that you've seen. And I always say, you know, this is my opinion, and it's gonna depend on, you know, where your account's at. But we're cracking the case now. The reason why I made this video here today is to get more information. If if Sentry in fact is much better if you do have Pierce on your cards or not. And we're gonna get to the bottom of this. We're gonna find out if that divide is actually greater, or if it really doesn't, or if it really doesn't matter. We're gonna find that out. And yeah, so my list, it was a general list. It wasn't just for Knull. So you got to keep that in mind. I'll make another one for Knull. Like I said, we're gonna test them out. So I appreciate the comment, and yeah, I didn't see Cynic Alex's list. I'm guessing I think that was a Knull list, right? It wasn't just a general list though. I think that's what it was. I don't know. Maybe one of you guys can let me know what kind of list that was exactly. But yeah, we want to, and like I said, you know, free to play told me that they have Sentry and they're able to clear Knull, and it's an easy clear for them. So I mean, I'm hoping that they're not giving me misinformation based on their experience. I don't think they are. I don't think they have any reason to lie to me. But we're gonna find this out. We're gonna crack the case, and you got to use that rotation. If you're not using the right rotation, then you know your testing's off, right? Got to use the right rotation, guy. All right, next up, Peppa. Oh man. When you have the time, roast the lonely Marvel Future Fight girl. She gives me, as always, like the vids, keep on grinding. I would love to roast you. You gotta, so you watch the video, you gotta leave the words, you gotta leave the code words, at least 2. At least give me 2 of the code words, and I can deal with that. You gotta give me something though. You gotta give me something. So comment on this one, and we'll get you in one of the next videos. That's how it works. That's how it works. You know the deal, man. All right, next up. So Chu says, how does crafting CTP works? Let's say you have a 200% CTP of energy and use another CTP of energy to reforge it, but you didn't get the mod you wanted, right? So they're talking about either the max beatdown or 20% all attack. They're saying if you got something lower. What happens when you try to re-roll the mod? Do you still keep the 200 proc, or is it randomized again? And I actually responded, but I wanted to put this up so everybody knows. I'm guessing this isn't the only person that wants to know this. Yeah, so it changes everything. It doesn't just change the forge stat. So the forge stat is either the beatdown, right? The additional pierce you can get from either on a mighty, it's either 4, 5, or 6. And then on the other, with the all attack increase, it's either 12, 16, or 20. It changes everything though. And let me tell you, they are the worst to roll. If you thought a regular energy was bad to roll, these are 10 times worse. They're so bad. They need to put a pity timer, like if you use 50 or 75. I don't know. They need to put something in place because they're a headache. But thanks for the comment. All right, next up. Oh yeah, it was my wife's birthday 2 days ago. And yeah, I mentioned that because I didn't do a video on that day. That was Thursday. This guy says, happy birthday to your wife. I'm sad for my boy Malcolm, man. They did a good job with the skill animation. So yeah, I actually didn't touch on this. Yeah, his skill animations are absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, like probably some of the best in the game, right? I mean, can you think of anybody else's skill animations that look better than this guy's? I really can't. He says, but that's it. He should be one of the top dogs. We'll keep up. He says, well, keep up the good work. Gives me his IGN. Looking for help on who to focus my third Knull team. Can do it with Moonstone and Sharon at the moment. Have no spare CTP. Still pretty new to the game. Six months in. Okay, so yeah, you gotta leave. Or you know, I think this guy actually he left the code words in a different comment. Let's pull this guy's account up and let's see what we can help him out with. Here we are, and I like the fact that this person asked a specific question. They want to know who to focus on for their third Knull clear team. Okay, and here we are. We're just looking at his character. So he's saying he's doing it with Moonstone. He's doing it with Sharon Rogers. So I'm not sure if you're using like supports with both of them, but I'm guessing probably Star-Lord lead with one of them. I would, okay, get Beta Ray build done. And we have really nice roll proc on him. Should be able to use that pretty well. And then I notice on Ghost Rider you have a judgment on Ghost Rider. So you should be able to do it. Like actually for a while I was using Beta Ray Bill Lead, Ghost Rider, and Sentry. It was the hardest stage for me. It was stage 23, and it was the most difficult stage for me to clear. It was 23, and it took me a lot of practice and a lot of tries. I don't know if it was just because still kind of like newer playing Knull, because I was kind of flying through up to 23, and that's where I kind of tapped out. But yeah, I was using Beta Ray Bill, Ghost Rider, and Sentry. I mean, you could replace Sentry with Moon Knight, get a better proc on this guy, get at least a 200 proc on this guy, or try to 180, 200 proc. And he should be able to help you out pretty well if you don't have any energies, right? Or like Sentry, I don't know, if energy is going to be better, and you're going to want to upgrade his gears. I mean, and that's going to make a difference too. For touching on before Sentry, you're going to want his gears upgrade. Like if you have his gears at 20. That's going to make a difference too. That's going to make a difference as well. But yeah, I would work on that. Beta Ray Bill, Ghost Rider, and Moon Knight. That should help you out there. Certainly. I mean, Bullseye's pretty good. Here, let me look at my team, and I'll tell you who. Cable, get Cable done. He'll bring you a lot of value for sure. He'll be able to clear it. Odin is a really good one as well. So those are some options for you. Hope that helps you out. All right, next up, this guy says, I know I sound like a broken record, but I unequipped a crap ton of CTPs, and I've been hoarding crazy amounts of tier 3 mats. I also have crop card. I'm guessing he's saying crap cards, and could use some help. Okay, so you gotta leave the code words, at least a couple. Give me a couple, and I'll help you out there. The other guy, he left them in a different comment, so that's why I did that. But yeah, do that, and I'll try to help you out there. Comment on this video, and we'll get that done for you. All right, next up, this guy says, bro, love your videos. Can you tell should I put Rage on Knull or leave Energy? Is Cynic Alex back in your alliance? Okay, so Knull is going to perform better in ABX with Rage. That's the way it seems. I'm going to be doing better testing on that the next day that I can use them, on the next Universal Villain Day. And or if you don't care and you're able to use Loki, then don't worry about that. And I keep Energy on him because he's going to perform better in basically all other game modes with Energy. And yeah, Cynic Alex, he's back home. He's back in the alliance. Yeah, he just came back over this last reset here. So yes. All right, next up here. Diego says, thank you. I appreciate the help a lot. I was hoping you would eventually respond to my comment, but the direct support on the video was even better. Major underrated YouTuber. You got yourself a new daily viewer, and if you ever decide to do other content, I think you'll succeed there too. Connecting with all of us the way you do is complicated, so mad respect. Best of luck to you. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. That's an excellent comment. I appreciate the nice words. I think, yeah, you're the one who I helped out with the Moon Knight rotation. I hope that actually helped you out. If you're still having trouble, let me know, and we'll see what else we can do. I'll try to cover it again. And yeah, I was thinking about other content. We'll see what the future holds. I mean, right now I'm struggling to try to get these videos out. So you never know. You never know. And I think, like I said, I have some things clearing up in the schedule, and things take time, right? To for greatness to occur, most of the time it doesn't just happen overnight. You got to work at it. And you got to stay focused and persistent, and that's when good things happen there. So I appreciate it, man. All right, next up, King of Dark 2875 says, nice work, bro. Can you please make a card craft guide? Most of the players are at an initial stage of crafting, and your experience will be a treasure you will share. Please, I think I am on a path of doing a very costly mistake. Okay, so pump the brakes, man. Better pull those reins back, my friend, because I have that. I have the thumbnail already made for that video. That's going to be coming out within the next few days. So pump those brakes, pull those reins back, and I'll be making that to give you guys some advice. So if anyone else is in the same situation, and you're just not sure, I'll be giving some advice on that for you guys. All right, next up. Oh, and by the way, share your IGN with me if you haven't if you're in this situation, share your IGN on this video, and this way I could actually use your account as an example and I'll tell you exactly what to do. So if you're in this situation, that would be awesome. Comment on this video. It might not be the next video, so I'll even bring it up in the next video, so you have a couple videos to comment on this, and we'll get you going in the right direction. All right, next up. Muhammad says, please make your videos less than 20 minutes, please. So I touched on this before. So the videos are just as long as the videos are. I'm not gonna try to sway or swing the videos in any way, shape, or form. They're gonna take shape, and they're gonna take form, and that's the way they're gonna be. So that's it. I'm not gonna try to make them one way or the other. Okay, so this guy says, Drip SZN says, could you help me, cause my clan members tell me different things in my okay, so give me his IGN. I see exactly what he's need help with. He says, like to build this character up, and they ever answer me when I text and chat. That's why I need better clan. No one accepts me because I don't have a lot of things like them, and need help which hero to build because I hate. Okay, so he has 10,000. I don't know, he's got some materials. He's got 5K BAM and 10K anti. What's anti? I don't know. But Cast Nornstone, I don't know. I'm having a brain fart. It's probably super obvious. I'm just not thinking of it. But in any case, okay, you gotta leave the code words, man. I'm gonna give you a chance for redemption. Comment on this video with the code words, and I'll pull you up. All right. Okay, and I think this is the last one here. All right, so this guy, and this I'm gonna be pulling up this guy's account. We're gonna take a look here. So this guy says, hey man, important things first. Happy belated birthday to your wife. I appreciate it. I told her that so many people said happy birthday, and she was flattered, and she says thank you to everybody out there who commented on that. Congrats on the 3K subs. He's got the code words. He's got all 3. I love it. He says, now I would love to get roasted and get some advice on my cards. I have good stats for a very free-to-play card set, but changing just one thing around changes everything, man. So I have P cards in my P card inventory, but I am hesitating as the rolls on them are good but not ideal. I'll probably craft them first and then equip them. So can I get some advice on them and my roster? I also want to ask, if I transcend a Gambit, can he solo Knull with just his lead on lower stages considering my account? And also thanks for the tier list on the previous video. It was much needed. Thank you for your contribution to the community as a whole. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the kind words. All right, let's pull up your account and let's try to get some of these questions answered for you. Oh man, I can see what you're talking about. You got a sticky situation because most of these cards, well, like this one. Okay, so the Secret Wars, the zombies, and the Star-Lord cards, like they're not good cards, right? But they all have ignore defense and cooldown. Like this one just has the cooldown, but you know you got some attack speed, some energy attack. This one would probably be the easiest one to replace here, the Secret Wars card. And this one you have the cooldown, and then you got energy attack and all attack. So I mean, it's not like the worst. It's actually not bad for like a free-to-play set. Like let's look at your stats. You know, you have, you know, almost 50 energy attack, and you know your physical attack's kind of low. You got 30%, but you know your ignore defense and your cooldown are at pretty good spots. You got good attack speed, good crit damage, so it's pretty balanced, you know, for a free-to-play set. I mean, you can go ahead and craft this card. I'd say like you're missing the proc, but I believe the attack speed is what you have in place of it. Ideally, you want the proc, but if you don't have many options, you don't have a whole lot of like mythic cards and premium cards, like I'd probably go ahead and craft that. That's definitely not a bad roll. Like if you did not have the attack speed or either the physical or energy attack, I'd say probably not. But since you do, and I don't know what cards you have behind the scenes, but like in this isn't a bad roll either. But yeah, what you could do is, okay, so I don't know what card it is, right? If it's got ignore defense and cooldown, but start crafting it, and then, you know, I'm guessing it probably has one of them, unless it's the Luna card. The Luna card doesn't have either of those, right? So unless it's that card, you know, it probably has one of those stats, either cooldown or ignore defense, and then hopefully, you know, you can get the other one on one of the crafted stats. So, you know, I mean, chances are you craft 2 cards, you'll end up with both of those on it. Whether it's like, say, if you craft this one and you craft another one behind the scenes, right? You'll end up with, you know, both of those on between the other cards, regular stats, and then both the crafted stats on this one and the other one, right? Take a little bit of time, but you know, slowly but surely, you know, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, the craft situation. I know I got through it quickly. I'm an exception to the rule though, so don't think that that's the way it should be. But I'm gonna be like I said, I'm gonna be putting out this video on like a crafted card guide, like a beginner's kind of guide on it, with things, you know, what to do and what not to do. So stay tuned for that, and I'll bring you some advice on that. I think that's really the only thing you wanted to know, right? It was just about the cards. Oh, and advice on his roster as well. Okay, let's try to check this out. Oh, we already looked at the cards, right? Okay, regen on Silver Surfer. Let's see what else he's got. Okay, he's got. Okay, I love to see no Odin's Blessings other than the heal on this guy here. See what you got on him. Okay, nice. I like it a lot. Yeah, just, you know, if you have, like, obviously, okay, attack speed is actually really important for Thanos in terms of damage, but for PvP, yeah, I guess it is important. So yeah, you want that attack speed capped off, but you have a lot of attack speed on. Okay, but you have, I'm also Groot. That's why. So okay, if you had a Power of Angry Hulk, then it'd probably be a different story. You wouldn't need all those attack speed Uru there. So and you got. So I don't know. Honestly, in terms of like PvP with ISO sets, I'm not all that knowledgeable. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend that I know, but I do know that if you have Power of Angry Hulk on him, you wouldn't need all of these attack speed Uru on him. Okay, moving forward here. What do you got on this guy? Nice, I like it. Nice proc, but you got those Odin Blessings. You don't need those on Deadpool. Deadpool's value, right? If you're using for World Boss Ultimate, it's all about the all defense down, and you don't need those Odin Blessings on him. It's really not adding any value in terms of that. So get those off of him. Give them to. Do you got Moon Knight? You don't have Moon Knight, but when you get Moon Knight, give him to him. He seems to be the best physical attacking character that you can pretty much give him to right now. And I don't know. I'm going to leave it right now a toss-up between Knull and Sentry. Some people saying, you know, it all depends on what your goals are. If you want more balanced roster and you want to be able to clear timeline easier, if you need that, or if your Silver Surfer and your Thanos are doing it for you, or Jean Grey if you have her. Do you have Jean Grey? You don't have Jean Grey. Okay, so it all depends. Or if you just want to be able to clear Knull faster and easier, then Knull might be your guy. So that's going to be the disclaimer there on that. Okay, so I like this. You got Judgment on him. You got, I'd get this with at least like 17% chain hit damage, but the all attack, I mean, that's like the max amount of all attack. So, but I think the chain hit damage is actually more important. And destruction on her with some Odin's Blessings. Okay, I mean, I'm not too crazy about that. But okay, energy on this guy, I love that. Finish to him off. Yeah, finish Gambit off. And I think you asked if Gambit can solo Knull with his own lead. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, on your account, I honestly can't say for certain. I really can't. But I would be shocked if he couldn't. I would be shocked if he couldn't on like stage 1. Okay, and then I don't know why you have a physical attacking Odin's Blessing on Captain Marvel. Get that off. Give it to somebody who will do some work for you. Energy on this guy. Get that off of him. And okay, you got that. Okay. Roll that with the max stats for 1, and give energy to. Okay, you got Judgment on Beta Ray Bill. Okay, so give energy to Gambit. Do that, and yeah, get Ghost Rider. You know, if you have Rage, obviously Rage or Judgment is going to work for Ghost Rider. So what you could do, if you don't have any spare of those, you give energy to Beta Ray Bill. He performs the best with that, and then give the Judgment to Ghost Rider. I would probably do that. But, you know, just continue working on your roster. You know, choose one of these guys depending on what your goals are. If you want better, easier time in PvP, along with some, you know, PvE value, because in my opinion, he can clear Knull. He can clear very well, almost just as good as Knull. That's just my opinion. But you know, like I said, we're gonna crack that case. Or if you just solely want, you know, easier Knull clear, then you can go for Knull. All right, so I hope that helps you out, man. All right, and that is it. That's everything. I got to give you the last code word. The last code word is icon. ICON, icon. And that's it. And I'm going to have to sneak in the video. The sneaky band is going to have to do his thing and show the build for Sentry and Knull. All right. In any case, I hope this helps some people. I hope it helps answer some questions. And don't be afraid to share with me your experience with Knull and Sentry, right? And tell me how much pierce you actually have on your cards. I'd appreciate that. So you better stay tuned. You stay breezy. But most of all, you stay safe out there, friend. Peace.